Hey folks, good morning. Welcome back to Canada's boxing channel. So recently there's been a few negative, kind of almost like bring you down kind of things that we've talked about on this channel. And I don't like to do too much of that because, well, negative stuff just isn't as good in my view as taking a more positive view about things. And the older I get, the more that seems to be the case, where if you focus on negative stuff, it's, eventually you feel like, oh God, what am I doing, And there's been a lot of negative stuff in boxing of late, with refereeing, poor matchups, bad judging, all that sort of stuff. There is one thing that's negative as well, I saw. Carl Froch, who, of course, a great champion, and he's got an excellent YouTube channel called Froch on Fighting. And he interviewed Conor Benn, which was fine, but he didn't ask some of the questions that I think many of us were going to, want him to ask. I'm quite certain that that my friend Russ from Porky's Corner is going to have something to say about that. So, and I will as well if I'm on his channel as a guest. But today, I will, excuse me, I will talk about something that I think might be more positive. So the WBC has a boxing Grand Prix in conjunction with Riyadh season. Now this had really sort of gone beneath my radar, and it looks a bit like the World Super Series type thing. I've got the Ring magazine open in front of me, so I'm just going to go through what the rules are and what it's all about, in case you don't subscribe to the Ring or you haven't seen it. I'll just sort of provide a synopsis of it. But I'm hopeful that this will be a positive, sort of like balancing the scales. We've got a lot of negative stuff, and then it'd be nice to have some positive stuff. So anyhow, excuse me, please. The opening day for this WBC Boxing Grand Prix is on April the 17th, and a total of 128 boxers across 4 weight divisions will meet in Riyadh over the course of that weekend, the 17th through to the 20th. Now, I won't be glued to the device watching it because I'll actually be on a vacation. So that'll be nice to be on vacation. It'll also mean I probably won't be uploading so much stuff to the channel because I'll be in trouble, quite frankly, from my domestic team leader if I start doing too many videos while I'm on vacation. So many of you who are subscribers will understand the predicament that I find myself in such occasions. Less said about that, the better, because my domestic team leader might well see this video. Anyhow, so there's 128 boxers across these 4 weight classes, and there will be 16 fights a day, and they will all be over 6 3-minute rounds. So the action will be broadcast on DAZN. So if you're a subscriber to the DAZN, you can have a nice weekend of watching these fights. I don't know what the quality will be like. I haven't seen a list of fighters, but it'll be fun. It'll be boxing, right? The weight classes, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat here this morning, are featherweight, super lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. 32 boxers are going to start in each division. Interesting. Featherweight, super lightweight. Yeah. 3 of the original 8, I suppose. So the boxers in each weight class will be fighting it out for the Jose Sulaiman Trophy. So that's Mauricio Sulaiman's father, I think. He was the long-reigning president of the WBC. And he'd originally thought of this concept way back before he passed away. He passed away in 2014. And Mauricio, who's the current president, said, and I'm going to quote, "We expect to have the future stars coming out of this tournament. His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh, was very clear when he learned about my father's dream of the World Cup of Boxing. When I explained to him what the intentions were 11 years ago when my father entered the hospital and could not proceed with the World Cup. Sulaiman also revealed a number of unique rules and innovations which will apply across the event. So the event starts in April, and then there are going to be further rounds in August and October before the grand finale in December. So obviously, it's not going to be like the Olympics where everything's in a couple of week period. They're going to spread it out. Obviously, fighters will need to recover, train, whatever. There will be no draws allowed. If the scorecards reflect a draw, we are going to proceed to the WBC enhanced scoring system, Mauricio Sulaiman said. So, where the judge scores the round numerically and also give a report on each round, whether it was close, moderate, decisive, or extremely decisive. These have a numerical value that will be reflected in the enhanced scoring system. If after that there is still a draw, a panel of 3 supervisors will decide who is the winner to advance to the following stage. Okay, so a draw, you then go a deeper dive, and then if it's still a draw, you have these supervisors who say, no, that's the guy, no, that's the guy. Judges will be elevated on high chairs in a bid to give them a better view of the action, and their scoring will also be open after the 2nd and 4th rounds of the fight. Okay, so like in tennis, where the umpire sits up high, which to be honest makes sense, quite frankly. It's you should really have the very best angle to see, I think, but anyways. And open scoring after the 2nd and 4th round, so that would allow the corners to adjust their fighters' game plan, I suppose. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about that, other than that's interesting. Instant replay will also be available for moments of contention. This will be available for any major situation and will be reviewed in case there's a controversy to make sure justice prevails. So it sounds like what they're going to do is for this Grand Prix, they'll be rolling out some innovative ways of adjudicating. And I suspect that if they're very successful or that they resolve controversies, maybe we'll see them in, the broader professional areas. Interesting. I can see instant replay being useful in some cases, but of course it then stops the action, right? So, yeah. What can I say? Interesting. Let's see how it works. Finally, there will also be a buzzer 30 seconds from the end of every round. This is Mauricio Sulaiman talking, which has been designed to ensure that both fighters pick up the action for the remainder of the round. They'll also be wearing 12-ounce gloves, which are being specially developed for the competition. After the first event, each boxer will book their place in the last 16 stage. Losing fighters may also get the chance to come back if there are dropouts later in the tournament. They'll also have substitutes. All of this, Mauricio Sulaiman hopes will ensure a smooth competition, which will ultimately crown the first 4 Jose Sulaiman Trophy winners at the grand finale in December. He carried on saying, "It is very complex and it has taken a great amount of work, organization, dedication, the production of the gloves and the uniforms and everything this to be ready. This is going to be a history-making event taking place in Saudi Arabia." So, interesting stuff. And I'm choosing to approach this, with a degree of positivity because, like I said at the outset, I would like a little bit more positivity to balance some of the negative stuff that we've had foisted upon us of late. Let me know what you think. And then after the competition's over, let me know whether you thought it was good, if you got to see any of it, what you think about some of these rules, specifically the enhanced scoring and maybe the instant replay. They've got it in many other sports, but of course, slowing the action down in other sports may not be so contentious as stopping the action is in boxing. I'm interested. Let me know what you think. Please like, please share, please subscribe. We're at nearly 900 subscribers. Isn't that something? I never expected to be anywhere near this. I've said this, you know, when we hit the 350 stage, the 500 stage, the 750 stage. Now we're at nearly 900. So let's see if a big push this month and next month, maybe we can get to 1,000. You never know, right? Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.